So you're sitting at home browsing through social media and you start reading articles and watching videos about very successful people who became very wealthy, and you start wondering to yourself, are these even humans and how did they get there, and can I even get there myself? Well, I've watched hundreds of videos and interviews about the most successful people, and I noticed that they all have these 5 things in common. Starting with number 1, the ability to delay gratification. Highly successful and rich people know that what they want is going to take time, and they know it's going to require sacrifice. They sacrifice anyway, and they do the work necessary. Even when they work for countless hours without seeing any result whatsoever, they show up and they do the work anyway. If you're into fitness, for example, you know that you're not gonna see any results within the first few weeks or even the first few months. Or you might see a tiny bit of results the first few months. It's gonna be nowhere near your ideal or your dream body or the goal you are actually aiming for. This takes years on end of you showing up to the gym multiple times a week, eating right, prepping your meals, sleeping well, and then you start to see a few results here, a few results there. You're not going to see results when you are in the gym lifting weights, and that is exactly what delaying gratification is. It's you working out now, knowing that this is going to benefit you in the future. It's me sitting my ass down, scripting, and then talking to the camera, posting videos online because I know the gratification will come later on, instead of me having my phone going onto Instagram and scrolling and getting that instant gratification from that. That's what I love about fitness. Fitness teaches you that going to the gym is going to take sacrifice, it's going to take effort, it's going to take discipline, and most importantly of all, I would say, is training the delay your gratification muscle, which is crucial in all aspects of life, whether it's in business, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in your career. Delaying your gratification is one of the probably the superpowers that highly successful people actually possess. Number 2 is Stoicism, or being able to control their emotions. The common thing they have is that they are basically reactionless, if that's the word. Now, this doesn't mean rejecting emotions and not accepting positive or negative emotions or not feeling these emotions to begin with. These are normal, but it's what they do with these emotions is what makes a difference. They're tired, they get to work. They're happy, they get to work. They're sad, they get to work. Moral of the story is that they act in spite of how they're currently feeling. They know that in order to get to their goal, they must do X, Y, and Z. So they wake up every day, they do X, Y, and Z. Highly successful people don't try their best, and the universe will reward them for their hard work. Understand that they must do what is necessary and what must be done. They know that getting to that goal doesn't require them to do their best, but it does require some things that will get them to that goal. And if they don't have these things or aren't able to do these things, they make sure to learn how to do these things in order to do these things and in order to get to their goal. Let's take Chris Bumstead, for example. He did not become Mr. Olympia by going to the gym whenever he feels like it, or whenever he felt motivation, or whenever he felt like he wanted to have dry chicken breast and rice again. He did that every day regardless. He went to the gym, he ate right, regardless of whether he was feeling like he wanted to do it or not, and this is what made him a champion. Same applies for business or any other aspect of life. To be quite honest with you guys, I was not planning on filming this video today. It's Sunday noon, and I thought that I shouldn't be doing it because I don't feel like it, but it's necessary that I stick to my schedule and film this video. So here I am sitting here talking to you guys. Number 3 is learning from failures and moving forward. It's very rare to find someone who became successful right after they launched their first business. I know Jeff Bezos is a special case, but he's a special case. He is the exception and not the rule. Many successful people out there have a long history of failures behind them and a very long track record of rejections in order for them to get to where they are. Walt Disney is someone who had a failed production company and was labeled as someone who lacked creativity. There's no need for me to tell you who that person is because his family name speaks for itself. And I'm sure you've heard about hundreds, if not thousands, of other people who were rejected, who failed multiple times, but now are more successful than you can ever imagine. And what is the common thing that they all have? That is persistence. It's the fact that they did not give up. Again, I know this sounds cliche, but they didn't give up. They kept going. They failed, they learned, they moved forward, and on to the next. They failed again, they learned, and then they got back up, and then they moved forward until they finally became successful. Now, keep in mind that I'm not preaching the fact that if you work hard enough, you are gonna get what you deserve, because quite frankly, you don't deserve anything. I don't deserve anything, and neither did any of these successful people who did become successful. They didn't deserve it. They just earned it. They worked for it. They worked hard enough and the right thing in order to get to where they are. Because hard work does not necessarily mean that one becomes successful or rich. Now, I'm aware being rich does not necessarily mean being successful, but in this case, I'm defining success as financial success. So yes, being rich means successful in this case. Hard work at the end of the day is not as important as where this hard work is put in. Because if you really think about it, coal mining is probably one of the hardest jobs in the world, and you probably will never hear about a very successful or a coal miner that became a millionaire. Probably will be somewhere. It's very rare. Number 4 is having the ability to say no. Saying no to nights out, saying no to cheat meals, saying no to new business ideas that will divert one's attention or resources from the task at hand or from the task that will get them to their ultimate goal. I know shiny object syndrome, I have it. If you guys don't know what that means, shiny object syndrome is what got you to jump into this game of business to begin with. But once you get there, you should stop, because jumping from one thing to another will definitely hold you back. Instead of putting 100% into one thing, now you're putting 20% into 5 different things, which there's no way you can outcompete someone who is putting 100% into one of the things you are trying to dabble in. So let's take Jeff Bezos, for example, on his come up. I am 100% sure that he probably got 1,000 different job offers or 1,000 different new business ventures he could have thrown his money in and his attention into. But he refused to do that, and he focused on one thing and one thing only, and that is Amazon, which is something that we all know about and use to this day. Now, saying no is also a muscle, just like the delay gratification muscle we talked about earlier. It's very hard to start, especially if you've been saying yes all your life. It's going to be very hard for you to say no to your friends who you have been going out with for the past 5 years every weekend. When you tell them no, they're going to be disappointed, and it's going to be hard for you to say no, but that's okay. Now, I'm not saying you should always say no to your friends and never go out with them. But if you think that in the coming 50 weekends, which is the next year, it's ideal for you to say no and to stay home and work instead of going out partying or going out to just waste time, then just say no. Because I personally would much rather say no, sacrifice a few weekends of my life for me to be able to afford even better weekends. And by afford, I mean afford in 2 ways, whether it's my time and my money. Because when I sacrifice today's weekend for me to make more money, I'm going to be able to have more time on my hands, or I'm going to have more autonomy or control of my time for me to go wherever I want to go and to spend as much money as I want to spend. Highly successful people know that they can do anything, but not everything. Now, the 5th habit, and definitely one very important one, is that highly successful people know what they don't know. They know that there's always something to be learned. They know that there's always room for them to refine their strategy and take a new approach to the problem they have in front of them. The more we learn about something, the more we realize how little we do know about that actual thing. Think of it, when you start as a beginner, you watch a few videos, you think, oh, that's easy. I just do this, this, and that. But then as you go deeper into it, you understand how much you don't know about this. And that's great. When you realize how much you don't know, you understand that you must do more work and learn more in order to get to that goal. Highly successful people know that there is always something new to learn. They learn it and apply it as fast as humanly possible. And if they don't find that learning this certain skill isn't going to bring them anywhere closer to their goal, they'd probably just hire someone else to do it for them. That's how they leverage their time. I know that some of you are going to have the following arguments. I can't delay gratification. I'm an instant gratification kind of person, and I can't say no. I'm too nice to say no. I love my friends. I don't want to tell them no. I want to go out with them every weekend because that's who I am. And some of you are also saying, I get very angry and emotional. I can't control my emotions. Well, let's start by actually detaching from this identity that we have given ourselves, because the first step to stop smoking is to just tell yourself that you're not a smoker. I'm not a smoker. Why would I smoke? That's the first step to eliminate bad habits and start implementing good habits. So instead of saying all these things that you tell yourself, and in a world where you can identify as anything you want, might as well identify as the following. Identify as someone who has the ability to delay gratification. Identify as someone who has the ability to say no to new business ventures that, even though they can make you a quick buck, but they divert your energy and resources away from the task at hand, which will hopefully get you to the bigger jackpot. And identify as someone who's stoic, who's calm in all situations, who sees problems, observes them, and does what is necessary to solve these problems. Starting with this, I promise you that your life will change. Now, if you want to start somewhere, I highly recommend the book called Atomic Habits. The link is going to be in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.